actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote
I
maximum
honestly
employment
don't
and
know why I'm
stable
trading
prices
right
for
now.
the
I
American
absolutely
people.
lucked out with a trailing stop
At
and made
today's meeting, the
120 on
committee
this.
decided to
That was
lower the target range for the
awfully
federal
late,
funds rate
making up my
by
mind.
a quarter percentage point to 4 to
Powell
4.25%,
speaking. So I'm
and to
now up to
continue reducing the
25.40
size
on the
of
day.
our balance sheet. Changes to government policies continue to evolve, and their effects on the
I got
economy
no
remain
stop loss in here
uncertain.
now.
Higher tariffs have begun to push up prices in some categories of goods, but their
But I'm
overall
lucky I
effects
had
on
that small
economic
one in
activity
because
and
I
inflation
would
remain to be
have
seen.
got burned on that.
A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation will be relatively short-lived, a one-time shift in the price level. But it is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent,
oh, look at that.
and that is a risk to be assessed and managed. Our obligation is to ensure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem.
Pretty nondescript
Risks to
right now.
inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside.
I think
A
he's going to be
challenging
very
situation.
moderate in what he says.
When our goals are in tension like this, our framework calls
Short
for
it
us
right
to
there.
balance both sides of our dual mandate. With downside risk to employment having increased, the balance of risks has shifted. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision, we remain well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data.
So since he's been talking,
in our SEP, FOMC
where we
participants
are.
wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate, based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy.
It's moving in such a way that it sweeps small stops like I got every time.
3.6% at the end of this year, 3.4% at the end of 2026, and 3.1% at the end of 2027. This path is 1/4 percentage point lower than projected in June. As is always the case, these individual forecasts are subject to uncertainty, and they're not a committee plan or decision. Policy is not on a preset course. The Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices.
Everything moved up on the announcement, and everything retraced. They all reacted pretty much the same. The Russell had the strongest, longest climb. I'm not sure what that is in monetary
We
value.
understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do
where I was
our public mission,
had the
Fed will do everything we can.
The smallest climb actually proportionally.
And price stability
And
goals. Thank you.
second best was
Discussion.
the Dow. All right, he's just answering questions now, so it didn't do anything on his
Chris
comments.
Redever, Associated Press. As you know, Fed Governor Stephen Myron has
I
continued.
don't think it's wise to put any risk
as a White House
in play here.
Joined the Fed board. This is the first time, I believe, the Fed's board has had someone
just
with executive branch ties.
call it a nice day.
Does this compromise the Fed's independence from day-to-day politics?
I wish I had the recorder going before it was going, and I thought it wasn't, so I turned it on, which I actually turned it off.
So we did welcome a new committee member today, as we always do, and the committee remains united in pursuing our dual mandate goals. We're strongly committed to maintaining our independence in the event that I really don't have anything to share.
Ow! No.
You and other Fed officials have spoken extensively about the impact of tariffs on inflation, although perhaps many companies appearing to eat the tariffs, may be...
See, there's where I usually jump in.
Do you see that as a possible outcome here? That
Predictive versus reactive, and what's reactive do? It burns you.
Rather than in inflation?
You know, it's certainly possible. You know, we're beginning to see, we have begun to see
I can have, 5 shares and have a lot in play here, but God, I just don't feel like,
accounts for most of the increase in inflation.
25.40. Could have added $1,000 to it right there.
Those are not very large effects at this point.
And this is where I jump in.
Expect them to continue.
This is where you can almost count on a reversal.
The rest of the year and into next year. And it's also possible that there may be effects on employment, but That, I would say if you're looking at why employment is doing what it's doing, that's much more about the change in immigration. So the supply of workers has obviously come way down. There's very little growth, if any, in the supply of workers.
Yeah, would have paid
And
off
at the
to,
same time, demand
no,
for
actually, it
workers
wouldn't
has
have paid
also
off to get in
come
there
down
because
quite
you would have got
sharply.
stopped out for sure.
To the
No, you
point
wouldn't. You
where
would have
we
been
see,
scared and held on.
what I would call a curious
Unending
balance.
mistake you make.
Typically, when we say things are in balance, that sounds good, but in this case, the balance is
Would have
because
taken profit of
both supply and demand have come down quite sharply.
15.
Now demand coming down a little more sharply because we see.
Now,
we're
if
now
you
seeing
want to sell it, you want
unemployment
to sell it at what they're asking, not what somebody's bidding. Okay. 690 was it 540 to 690 made $150. We're playing with too little. Just stop it. So you're up to 2690 for the day, and let's stop there with 72 trades. Yeah, look at that reversal.
People have different views, but
2690 on 72
so we were able
trades.
to do that over the course of this year because the labor market was in very solid condition with strong job creation and all those things. I think if you go back to April and now look at the revised job creation numbers for May, June, July, and August, you can I can no longer say that. So